If you grew up in Ohio, you knew Geauga Lake. The amusement park was a summertime destination for generations. This year, it's closing for good. So how did this park have such a sharp rise and dramatic fall? Geauga Lake was established in 1887 as a place for picnics and swimming. But in 1925, it became home to the Big Dipper, a wooden roller coaster that, at the time, was the largest in the world. It was immensely popular and started Geauga Lake's transformation. New rides and attractions were added through the years, and it remained a favorite summer vacation spot for generations. It was charming and small, a place where families could spend a low-cost, relaxing day. In 1970, SeaWorld Ohio opened its gates just across the water from Geauga Lake. Although they were in separate townships, the two parks worked as friendly neighbors for almost 30 years.
Well, some big changes are taking place at Geauga Lake Theme Park. Its parent company today announcing it is changing the name and a whole lot more.
Geauga Lake was owned by Premier Parks, which operated several amusement parks nationwide. In 1998, the company bought the Six Flags theme parks and rebranded Geauga Lake as Six Flags Ohio.
And it really is extraordinary in the breadth and scope of what we're going to be doing. It's unprecedented in the regional theme park industry.
For its grand opening in 2000, the company sunk $40 million into expanding the park. 20 new rides were added, including 4 major roller coasters. Licensing deals allowed for themed rides and stage shows. What had been a modest-sized family day park was fast becoming a big, modern thrill park, looking to rival Cedar Point. And it didn't stop there. 1 year later, SeaWorld made an offer to buy Six Flags Ohio. Other SeaWorld locations in Florida and California were turning their attention from marine exhibits to coasters. Six Flags declined their offer, then counter-offered to buy SeaWorld Ohio for their own. SeaWorld, happy to get out of the seasonal operations of chilly Ohio, agreed and sold their park, not including the animals, to Six Flags for $110 million. Six Flags then made a decision that doomed the park from day one. They decided to make both separate parks into one massive amusement park, calling it Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. It was going to be the largest amusement park in the world. To put it into perspective, Disneyland is built on 85 acres. Worlds of Adventure was 700 acres. It had massive roller coasters, huge swimming and water slide areas, ski shows, marine life, stunt shows, and much more. The problems, however, outweighed the positive. Although the hoped-for crowds came, combining the parks without reconfiguring the walkways or ride queues led to constant bottlenecks and overcrowding. The staff had only a month or so to learn the ins and outs of all the new facilities and were frequently undertrained. Aurora was still mostly a rural town, but it was now the center of a brand new nationally advertised entertainment complex. They scrambled to turn 2-lane country roads into 5-lane highways, and a lack of any major hotels in the immediate area meant out-of-town guests would be spending extra money elsewhere. 4 years later, World of Adventure was through. Six Flags sold the entire park to Cedar Fair, owners of Cedar Point, for only $145 million before declaring bankruptcy. Cedar Fair changed the name back to Geauga Lake and shut down what had been the SeaWorld area, leaving it abandoned. Rides were quickly renamed. 3 of the major coasters were removed and shipped to other parks. The only new addition was Wildwater Kingdom, a small water park area. Visitors, unhappy with the fast and confusing changes, disliked the new direction even more than the previous one, and attendance began to flatline. In 2007, Geauga Lake ended its summer season for the year. A week later, without warning,
Take you right now to a story that we've been following for the last few minutes or so. We've just learned that part of Geauga Lake is going to close.
Closed forever. No one had a chance for a last photo or ride on a favorite coaster. Attractions were immediately sold off to other parks, assets auctioned off. The only piece that would remain active was Wildwater Kingdom. And now, 10 years later, that'll be closing as well. For over 100 years, Geauga Lake operated as an amusement park. If you look at the land now, The only piece that remains is the coaster that started it all, the Big Dipper, standing as a silent reminder of the park that once was.